Hi everyone, in this video I will be reviewing my experience dining at Deepin Oksu, which is affiliated with Cooking Maniac. Now, if you haven't already seen the previous video, I would recommend going to watch that first, just because I did provide an introduction to this series, explaining which restaurants I went to, as well as going over the process on how to make a reservation with these Culinary Class Wars restaurants. So if you haven't already seen it, please go ahead and watch it right now first before continuing further with this video. Now, I do want to clarify that this restaurant is Deepin Oksu, which is the sister restaurant of Deepin, the main branch where Cooking Maniac actually works. Now, I had intended to go to this original location, but unfortunately the reservations for Deepin released at the same time as Triple Stars restaurant, and I really prioritized going to Triple Stars restaurant first. So after I had booked that, I bolted over to Deepin's page, but unfortunately all of the reservations were snatched up already, and this was just only 1 minute after. This just goes to show you just how quickly these slots fill up. Now, mind you, this show aired September to October 2024, and now it's been over half a year later, and these reservations are still just as hard to come by. Even though I wasn't able to get a reservation for Deepin, thankfully I did see that at the sister restaurant, they released their reservations a little bit later on in the day. So while Deepin releases at midnight, Deepin Oksu releases at 4 p.m. on the same day. So later on in the day, I was able to snatch a reservation here as my little consolation prize. Even though I know that Cooking Maniac usually doesn't work in this location, although I did see on some reviews on Catch Table that they did come across him by chance. I guess he was visiting the restaurant or maybe working there that day, but usually he's at the main location. I still wanted to try the sister restaurant because it did advertise on Catch Table that it is a fresh pasta restaurant with Asian touches by Chef Yoon Nam No, which is Cooking Maniac's real name. So there are still some influences from him at this location, so at least I wanted to sample that. To lock in my reservation, Catch Table does require a deposit, as I had previously mentioned before. For this restaurant in particular, the deposit was 30,000 Korean won per person, and there were 2 of us, so I ended up paying 60,000 won total for my deposit, which is about 42 US dollars. Now, in terms of location, Deepin Oksu is located in Oksu. It is a little bit more of a tucked away neighborhood. You have to take line 3 and get to Oksu station, and from there it's about 10 to 15 minute walk. On Naver Maps it says 10-minute walk, but for us it was a little bit more like almost 15, just because towards the end, once you get closer to the restaurant, the streets do have an incline, so you are going to be walking uphill. Okay, but at least you burn a little bit extra calories so you can eat more once you get there. And once you do get there, it is quite easy to almost miss the restaurant. Look at the stinky sign. Cooking Maniac's restaurant. Now, in terms of the menu, I did kind of briefly compare the menu from the main original Deepin and also the Deepin Oksu. And there are just a couple of small items that are the same from both menus, and those are the ones that I did order at Deepin Oksu. But as for the main courses, it's actually completely different. Deepin advertises itself more as like a dining bar, whereas Deepin Oksu is a pasta restaurant. So the menu for the entree section, it's mostly pasta, and there's like one steak option. Okay, and then for the exciting part is, what did we order? So the first thing we ordered was sourdough with truffle butter, and this is one of the items that is also at the original Deepin. It is freshly made in-house. The inside was very soft and moist, kind of had like a bouncy texture. That's how you know it was like very good bread. And the crust was thin, but still had a nice crunch to it. And the truffle butter was presented in a shaved fashion. The truffle butter was very fragrant, but the butter itself was a little bit too rich. Not in like a completely bad way, but I think because the bread to butter ratio was a little bit off, there was more butter than bread. I ended up putting a lot of butter on my bread to use it up because I didn't want to waste it, and I think because of that it ended up tasting really heavy afterwards. And then in hindsight, I didn't realize that I could have ordered more bread. Of course, for an additional fee though, that would have made it taste a little bit more balanced. but it was really good. Behind you, they sell Deepin truffle butter, and they package it looking like perfume or a candle. It looks like a candle over there. Now, the second appetizer we ordered was the beef tart, and that was definitely one of my favorite things that we ordered there. It came out, I picked it up. I didn't realize how delicate the tart shell was. It was very thin, but it was such a perfect vessel for what was inside it. And the inside, oh my goodness, it was smoked beef, like beef tartare. Right, you ready? Oh wow. That's excellent. It was so fresh, so smoky. It really tasted almost like tuna. Like if you didn't tell me it was beef, I would have assumed it was tuna in there. What's the sauce? It's like a spicy chili sauce. Very tangy. And the sauce that came with it, apparently it was chili aioli egg yolk jam. But it was so creamy and had a little bit of spiciness and a little bit of tanginess too. A nice balance of acidity. It's like I'm eating tuna. Everything just, like it just oozed together in harmony into this little dainty shell. It was so good. If I were to go back, I would definitely order that again, for sure. Okay, so moving on to the pastas. Now, when I looked at the menu, it was a little bit overwhelming for me because I wasn't too sure which one to pick, but all of a sudden I just saw the word truffle, so I honed in on that and wanted to order that just because I love truffle. Okay, truffle pasta. He said instead of salt, they use anchovy for a little bit more umami. That looks very good. Look at that pile of truffle on top. But unfortunately, it was a little bit disappointing because it was a little bit too salty for me. I did like the texture of the fresh pasta, and they definitely did deliver on the truffle. But overall, I just thought that the flavor was too one-dimensional, and texture-wise as well. I think it would have been nice if there was some protein or even just like mushrooms to kind of add a little bit more of a textural element to it. I feel like it's a bit salty for me. Maybe I shouldn't have ordered this one since she didn't recommend it.
What did you get?
I just saw truffle.
Oh.
I'm a sucker for truffle.
You do have a lot of truffle.
Mm-hmm. It is good, but it's not special. But to be fair, she did not recommend this one. It actually reminds me of like ramen noodles, isn't it? Yeah. It doesn't taste like spaghetti. It's like ramen noodle. It even has like that curly, that wavy texture like ramen.
I still like it.
It's good, but I think it needs like meat.
Yeah.
Like you know how carbonara has like bacon? Now the second pasta though, oh my goodness. Oh.
chitara 준비해드렸고요. 영어로 설명해드리는 게 더 편하실까요?
This is our signature pasta. It's mussel bisque. It's cream-based sauce. Then we use mussel stock and green pea puree. On top is conch and shallot pickle.
Ah, thank you.
First, don't
네.
mix our pasta.
Don't
Just
mix.
try the only the noodle first. After that, you mix with the sauce.
Ah, okay, thank you. This was one of the two pastas that the server had recommended to me, and it was incredibly good. It was a seafood-based pasta with conch, and the sauce was light. It had like a really great seafood flavor. You know how some seafood dishes, like the seafood flavor can be kind of in your face, but not this one. It was light and delicate, but enough flavor to really make you appreciate it. Pasta texture was great, of course, but the conch had it like that snappy texture, and the pickled shallots on top gave some refreshing bites of acidity in between. And overall, it was just like an excellent dish. I definitely could have finished that on my own, but I had to share it. Oh yeah, that cream is really good. It's seafood flavor, but it's still very light. Go ahead.
Not the best.
This one's really good. I like this one a lot better than the other one.
You know what I just thought?
The pickled onion adds a really nice touch of acidity to it. Because the other one didn't have any acidity. It was just like,
Yeah, I savor it.
it was all just one tone. Very, very cheesy, salty. This one's like light seafood.
What is conch in it?
It's shell.
Clam?
Kind of like sea snail. It has kind of like that snappiness of a gouda. This one is way better than the other one. This one I could eat all by myself. That was definitely an incredible dish for sure. So much so that we actually ended up ordering another pasta, which was the other one that the server had recommended. So she had recommended two, we ordered the mussel bisque, and then we decided to order the other one as well. Do you want to order anything else? You want to order the other pasta, the other recommended pasta?
I do want to pasta.
Yeah? Okay. It was, can we try the mushroom fettuccine? Huh, it doesn't even look like pasta.
This one also our signature pasta. It's mushroom fettuccine. It's tomato based and we use this kind of mushroom, so it's vegetarian sauce.
Oh.
The top also we dry the three kind of mushroom and deep fry in brown butter.
Oh, thank you. Deep fried in brown butter. That sounds really good.
Oh,
Ooh, it smells good. And surprisingly, it was a vegetarian pasta. It didn't taste vegetarian, I think because the brown butter kind of brought out like the earthy flavor of the mushroom, and it kind of almost tasted like beef or like a ragu sauce as well. It was definitely very interesting, definitely a lot going on with the fried mushrooms on top, but nowhere near as good as the mussel one. It's not as good as the second one we had, but I think flavor profile-wise, it's a little bit more complex than the first one because there's multiple things happening in here. Like if it didn't have the topping, it's definitely really whatever. Like the dry fried mushroom on top is what makes it extra.
this doesn't taste like mushroom.
It doesn't. It tastes very savory,
Oh,
like almost like beef. And of course, we couldn't leave without ordering dessert. So we ended up ordering the olive oil ice cream. Now, I didn't get a chance to look at the menu description that clearly because she came by and said, "Oh, can we get the olive ice cream?"
Olive ice cream.
Last order. Olive oil ice cream with what, mandarin orange, you said? Whoa, the middle has like a well. Look at that.
olive oil.
Let's try it.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's good.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I taste olive oil.
What is the chocolate?
The black thing? What is that? I don't know. It had like these black little things in the ice cream, and we couldn't figure out what it was. For a while, we thought it was cacao nibs until the realization hit us that it was actually olives in the ice cream. Let me try it. I'm trying to process the flavor.
Yes.
Is it cacao? I'm not sure if it's cacao. Kind of has like almost savory note to it. Doesn't it taste kind of savory almost? Yeah, so the menu actually calls it an olive candy. So it's like crunchy olives, great texture element to the ice cream, and really enhancing the flavor of the olive oil ice cream.
Wait, is that olive? It's not olive, is it? It kind of tastes like olive.
You know, you might be right. It might be freeze-dried olives or something. I think you're right. It has a taste of olives.
Oh.
They tricked me. I ate olives. I normally never eat olives. I've never seen actual olives in olive oil ice cream.
Especially olives to add an extra texture.
Yeah. Now, what dishes would I recommend? For sure, the best ones that I still think about are the beef tart and the mussel bisque chitara. Honorary mention for two things that are not as spectacular, but I still think you should include in your order would be the truffle butter and the olive oil ice cream. Okay, now in terms of the total bill, first off, just a reminder that in Korea, the pricing is pretty transparent. What you see on the menu is what you pay because there's no tax or tip. And for us, for a party of 2, the total bill came out to 120,000 Korean won, which is about 83 US dollars. It would have been considerably cheaper if we hadn't gotten the truffle spaghetti. That was the most expensive item. It was 37,000 Korean won, which is about $26. But with all things considered, I think with all of the food that we got 2 appetizers, 3 pastas, and 1 dessert. I think that the price is very fair considering especially the quality of all the food. And also considering that 2 of the items had truffle in it. I previously mentioned that I paid 60,000 Korean won for my deposit. Now where did that go? When you make the reservation, you pay the deposit to Catch Table, not to the restaurant itself. After going to my reservations, I realized that there were 2 different methods with how the deposit is handled. The first one is where the restaurant will process your reservation, and I'm assuming Catch Table will later on release the deposit to the restaurant itself. And so the restaurant will go ahead and deduct the deposit from your bill. The second method is actually the restaurant will cancel your reservation, which will then trigger Catch Table to release the deposit back to you, and then you go ahead and you pay the bill in full directly to the restaurant right then and there. And for this scenario, Deepin Oksu was the second scenario. They actually ended up canceling the reservation, which is kind of weird because we ate there, but they canceled it. So unfortunately, when they cancel it, it doesn't let me leave a review on Catch Table. It's kind of weird. I guess because they don't want to wait on Catch Table to release a deposit to them. They kind of just want to be paid up front right then and now. Okay, so ending points and conclusion. Overall, I thought this was a great start to our Culinary Class Wars adventure. Even though it wasn't the original Deepin per se, I think it actually kind of worked out better because it was pasta dishes. It gave us a little bit more variety in terms of like the cuisine we got to eat, because the other reservations we had were for like fine dining, dim sum, Korean food, and Chinese food. So it was nice to have like a good mix of cuisines. I am definitely interested in going back to try the original Deepin though, just because the menu does differ enough for me to be able to go back and try an entirely different course, as well as hopefully maybe seeing Cooking Maniac himself there. And who knows, I might just reorder those beef tarts again too. Well, this concludes my review for Deepin Oksu, and in the next video we will be reviewing Triple Star's fine dining restaurant Trid, so stay tuned for that. And until we eat again, see you, bye!